Hey guys, Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist here. Thanks so much for checking out the Weight Loss by Pete podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes, or my daily vlog here on YouTube. So obviously this is being simulcast. And today we're going to talk about something mindset oriented, and more specifically, what trying has to do with losing weight. And unfortunately, it's not very much. So throughout your life, I want you to think about something. When you've said, I'm going to try, I'll do my best, I'll try my best, what is that really giving you? In my opinion, it's kind of started from early on in our lives. We're taught, a lot, at least here in the Western world, and I know a lot sometimes also in the Eastern world, we're taught to be very humble, very modest. So instead of being cocky or instead of being overly confident, we say things like, I'll try, I'll do my best, I'll try my best. And look, being modest and being humble, there's a time and a place for that. But when you want to reach goals, especially something as crucial to your health and to your livelihood as losing weight and keeping it off, then you can't go into it with the I'll try mentality. I'm going to give you 3 examples that I've thought about. So I actually sat down and I thought about this in life, well, throughout my life, about when I would say that I would try and when that's actually helped me in any real capacity. So for starters, one of the first earliest things where I said I'll try is, let's say it's Thanksgiving or it's a major holiday. We're expecting family to come over. When I was living with my parents when I was a child, and my parents would ask us to clean our rooms before company arrived. Sometimes they do this the day before, sometimes several hours before, but they always gave us enough warning and enough time. And that was something that I've never really done. In fact, it's something I still struggle with to this day. And every time they ask me, I remember specifically saying, I'll try to get it done before they arrive. What ends up happening? Nothing. Nothing gets done before the company arrives. So usually I just cordon off my room. Nobody in my extended family is allowed in there while they're there. And then when they leave, I get yelled at. That was number 1. Number 2, something you may not know about me was when I was growing up, I was a pretty good violinist. I'm actually pretty musically talented. And in 5th and 6th grade here in New York, I was both all county and all state. And I was a concert master of my district in 5th grade. I remember that was actually incredibly, that was perplexing to me. I didn't think I was on that level, but clearly the judges or whoever decided on that did. So I was pretty good. And my parents hired a private teacher for me because they thought maybe that can even help enhance me to another level. Who knows, maybe that's in my future, whether it was playing at the collegiate level, getting me into a university that way, or maybe it was even playing professionally. And I mean, I played all throughout high school, but to be honest, once I hit end of middle school, early high school, I fell out of love with it. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm a pretty big, stocky guy, and I got long arms. So playing the violin, I was like all scrunched up like that. If you can't see that, I'm just pretending that I'm playing a very tiny instrument scrunched up. I'm sure you've all seen the violin played if you're listening in on the podcast. So anyway, I remember when I had competitions, I had this thing called NISMA. It was pretty much an individual thing. You pick a piece at a certain level, you play a piece in front of a judge, they rate you, and basically you either look to get an A. It's just like a test in class. You look to get as high a grade as possible. And I remember heading into that, my private teacher would tell me, look, there are certain sections of this piece that you're not very good in, you're not doing well in. You need to practice these areas and need to do this, that, whatever. She'd mark up the music sheet, and I would have to practice it. I'd say, okay, I'll try. And I didn't really care because at that point, I'd kind of given up on the whole thing. And I was just looking to appease her and appease my parents. And, there in the individual areas like NISMA, I kind of faltered at that point. That's when my all county, all state status kind of went down. And I just became a slightly above average player for the rest of high school. I just kind of did it because I didn't like art, like painting or drawing. I don't like that type of stuff. So I figured if I had to do something artsy, I'll just stick with that. It's something that I'm relatively good at. Third example, which is a more recent example, tidying up and cleaning my apartment is something that I'm notoriously terrible for. Anyone who knows me, friends, family, my girlfriend especially, who I live with, it's something that I'm not very good at. So, and it's not something that I enjoy doing. And, it's a discipline that I'm working on personally because it's not something I ever had to really want for growing up. And my girlfriend will always ask me, like, there's a few things she won't do. Like, she's very good at cleaning, picking things up, uncluttering things, whatever. But she does not like garbage. She does not like dishes. She does not like cleaning the bathroom in terms of like the toilet in the bathtub, when they get cruddy, etc. So that's something that's left up to me. So sometimes she'll ask me, for example, hey, wash the sink. Can you wash the sink before we go to bed tonight? We'll have 2 or 3 hours before then, and I'll say, nah. Or I won't say, hey, nah. I'll say, okay, I'll try. I'll try to squeeze it in. And yeah, it just never happens. It really doesn't happen. And in fact, there's a pile of dishes in my sink right now. So those are just a few examples. And I'm sure if you found any of those entertaining, you're laughing because you see yourself in a lot of those examples. Anytime you've gone into any endeavor, whether you wanted to accomplish something or not, and you said, I'm going to try, you're giving yourself an out. You're not giving yourself the best mindset, the best mentality in which you can accomplish that. So on my 100-pound weight loss journey, when I started it, so if you're not familiar with the story, long story short, I gained 70 pounds, 70 pounds, which is 35 to 40 kilograms, roughly in 3 months between September and November and end of November, the sophomore year that I was in college or at university. If you're not in the States, that's how you guys refer to college. And I remember going home. Thanksgiving is a major national holiday here in the States, so we get about a week off. I remember going home, and my friends and family who had seen me in shape just a few months prior over the summer, right before I went back to school, asked me what the hell happened. Going back to school, my friends started picking up on the fact that I'd gained a lot of weight. They started giving me crap. I had trouble picking up girls, which at that point in my life had never been an issue since I started even trying. And it was tough. So at the end of my sophomore year, I decided I'm going to lose weight. And conventional method was to eat less, exercise more. I lost 40 pounds in the first 4 months doing that, but unfortunately, I had a plateau for 3 years. That's why I highly disagree with the principle that's been set out that the starvation hypothesis is not accurate, because that's what happened to me. And as I continue to stall and plateau, and I continue to restrict calories and up my exercise duration and intensity, and still didn't see any results, I firmly believe that that is real. And maybe if it's not real in everybody, it's real in certain people, and I'm one of those people. But anyway, my mentality going into that was I was sick of being made fun of. I was sick of people doubting me, and I was going to show them. And it didn't matter that I plateaued for 3 years. Sure, there were times where I thought what I was doing was correct. In retrospect, it wasn't. But at the time, what I thought I was doing was correct, and I wasn't losing weight, and I was literally torturing myself. I was hungry all the time because I was restricting my calories and portions so much, and I was exercising on fumes for long durations of time at a high intensity, or about as high as I could get on that low energy level. And I just didn't give up. There were times where I'd be like, screw this. And for a week or two, I'd fly off the rails. But then I'd get back on. I'd read up on what I was doing. I'd find maybe something nutritionally or fitness-wise that I thought might help. And I'd go on from there. That's the mentality you got to have. It's not, I'm going to try. Because look, an unrealistic goal for me is the NBA, National Basketball Association here in the States, is for me to become a center in the NBA, having never played basketball at any level in my entire life, not being naturally athletic. I've dunked on a basketball hoop once in my life, and I couldn't move for a week, so I can't jump that high. And obviously, not, like I said, I'm not well seasoned in the sport. And the average point guard in basketball is, I think, 6'2". I'm 6 feet tall, 6 feet even. So I'm short by the league standards for the smallest position on the floor. So clearly that's not going to happen. But losing weight and keeping it off is well within your reach. It just takes the right mentality. And instead of thinking about trying, don't think about trying. The second you say you're going to try, you're giving yourself an out. You're giving yourself a shot at failure and a shot at throwing in the towel as a result. Instead, you're going to do it no matter what it takes. And a wise man who was a former client of mine, and out of just about anybody, he had the best head on his shoulders in terms of his personal mentality. You know, he owned up when he messed up. He got right back on the horse the next day. He didn't let things ever spiral out of control, and he consistently saw results. And he also went out of his way to help me with my business, and he went out of his way to do a lot for me. And one of the things that he taught me that I'll never forget is that you don't fail until you literally throw in the towel and quit. So when it comes to a realistic goal, like losing your weight and like keeping it off, it is realistic. It is attainable. It may be harder for you than other people, and it's going to be easier for you than it is for other people. But that being said, if you have a will, then there's a way, and you're going to find the way to do it no matter what it takes. And fortunately, thanks to a lot of recent research and older research, I'm talking like dating back to the 1800s, it's coming back to the forefront now that it's starting to be revealed that the last 60 to 65 years of nutritional advice in the Western world is complete and utter horse crap. We're in a position now where you can simplify things nutritionally. There are more healthy substitutes for common favorites like pizza, soda, and bread like there ever has been. And as a result, you can feel like you're having your cake and eating it too, while making healthy nutritional changes, which will give you more energy, make you think more clearly, and thus show you more consistent results and enable you to stay on task when it comes to other physical activities like getting enough quality sleep and exercising on a regular basis. So instead of going into something saying that you're going to try, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, because you're going to fail if you say that. I don't care who you're talking to. If someone asks you, oh, it looks like you've lost weight, and maybe you've lost your first 10, 15 pounds, that's around the time people will finally start to notice any type of weight loss. You know, what are you trying to do? You're like, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm going to lose X amount of pounds, X amount of inches, whatever your goals are. And that's the mentality you got to have. You're going to do it. You're going to accomplish it. It may not happen tomorrow, it may not happen in a month, it may not happen in a year, but eventually you're going to get there by making healthy, sustainable lifestyle changes. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did find this helpful, do me a favor and subscribe either to the YouTube channel or the podcast, depending on how you're ingesting this. And if you're looking for a community of like-minded people who are looking to lose 50 or more pounds, avoid unnecessary weight loss surgery, and you're looking to prevent or at least inhibit the effects of some debilitating chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, various forms of cancer, neurological conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, then join us on Facebook at the Permanent Weight Loss Community. The link is in the description below, but basically there's 3 questions that I ask you. Just answer the questions, ask to join the group, and I'll let you in within a very short amount of time. Outside of when I'm sleeping, I'm pretty responsive to the group. So you'll be allowed in. You'll get daily content, both motivational and informational, that'll help you on your quest. I give you $100 worth of free stuff, including my food guide, my recipe book, as well as my 5 strategies report that reviews the 5 strategies I personally use to lose 100 pounds. It's a great group. We're really building a great community, and I really hope to have you in there. So check that out. Again, my name is Pete Weintraub. I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. Thanks so much for watching or listening to the Weight Loss by Pete podcast. We'll be back at you tomorrow with another message, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.